Welcome into the Morning Buzz. We are buzzing with breaking news this morning in the NFL. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have made three-time Pro Bowl tackle Tristan Wirfs a very wealthy man. According to multiple reports, Wirfs and the Bucs agreed to a 5-year deal worth $140 million. That makes him the highest paid offensive lineman in club history, as Wirfs has been looking for a new deal dating back to the offseason. And to say it's deserved, you can just look at the numbers here. The number 13 overall pick in 2020 is a 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowl selection. Of course, he helped them win the Super Bowl back with the Bucs a few years ago. It is now the largest deal in Buccaneers franchise history. 5 years, $140 million. Let's bring in our own Ryan Harris. We're also here on studio. Jeremy checking some notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the golf. Sorry, I was looking at the golf. I'm just dialed into it.
It's an exciting morning. We got things going all over the place. Of course, we've got golf, but let's get to our guy, Ryan Harris, as we discuss this breaking news. Ryan, obviously it's been a busy morning for all of us across the board here, but none more busy than Tristan Wirfs, who just became the highest paid offensive lineman in Bucs history, one of the highest in NFL history. Just your reaction to this big signing on a very early Thursday morning?
From an amazing and incredible Tampa Bay team that has really worked to put an entire roster together of core players that know their system. Not only are you getting Tristan Wirfs and one of the best tackles in the game, but you're also making sure that you're not having problems on that side of the line. And really, he's a leader for the offensive line. And what it looks like in the meeting room, at practice, is that the players look to him. Baker Mayfield right there following Tristan Wirfs because you know where to go. One of the things that fans miss is sometimes with big dollar amounts like this with offensive tackles, you're really paying for problems you don't want. And when you have Tristan Wirfs, you do not have problems protecting the blind side of a smaller quarterback in Baker Mayfield. You do not have to worry about the offensive line room getting distracted throughout an entire season because your left tackle knows how to win a Super Bowl. These are fantastic things that not only help the Buccaneers be successful this year, but also sets the stage for continued success in the future.
Yeah, he just reading a couple of quotes from Wirfs here. It's clear that this is where he wanted to be in Tampa. The money just had to be right. So now that we've got the money right, I want to talk to you about how Wirfs maybe stacks up with some of the players that we'll see later in the show regarding the highest paid offensive linemen here, because you've got guys in Tampa Bay, or excuse me, in San Francisco, like Trent Williams knocking on the door saying, hey, where's my money? So when you look at the body of work for what Tristan Wirfs has been able to do in his short career there in Tampa, how does he stack up with some of these guys on the list?
Well, he's right behind Trent Williams, in my opinion, and experience playing the game. And remember, Tristan Wirfs was highly drafted in that first round, but really had to fight through to create his story. Well, the story now is a successful one, and the only thing he doesn't have on Trent Williams is longevity. He has more playoff wins than Thomas, Sewell, and Darisaw. He has more Super Bowl wins than those players as well. He also has more kind of Super Bowl experience than Trent Williams in terms of winning that game. So he is absolutely at the top of that list. I would say only behind Trent Williams because of that longevity, but make no mistake, Tristan Wirfs is here to stay. So says not only the $140 million, but $88 million guaranteed. But I want to bring up one more thing you mentioned, Haley. You are absolutely right. Players across the league are getting excited. Not only do you have the DJ Moore signing from yesterday, but the Tristan Wirfs signing today. Everybody's going to be hitting harder and faster in training camp today because the bag is out there and the proof is in the pen.
Listen, I'm going to need Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, all those guys to get with it, drink some of that Kool-Aid there out in Dallas. But nonetheless, I want to continue the conversation here about the Bucs. You mentioned this earlier, right? They get the deal done here with Tristan Wirfs. Earlier in the offseason, they secured their quarterback in Baker Mayfield. They also kept Mike Evans around. This, to me, sounds like a team, to your point, who wants to bring back players who know the system and they're ready to win. So when you see them then adding Tristan Wirfs finally into the mix here, in retaining him, what does that tell you about the Bucs mentality going into 2024?
It tells me that the Buccaneers have been focused on winning another Super Bowl while everyone wrote them off because Tom Brady's not there. Look, rarely does this happen where an organization, does the right things by paying the players that help them get to their success. So not only are they doing that with now finishing out the core round of players with Tristan Wirfs, but you're also telling the rest of the team, hey, if you produce here, you will get paid here. And that has a tangible effect on a locker room. Young players who are in a contract year, of which 30% typically are on an NFL team, all know that they can trust the organization to do what they say and to recognize their talent. That's going to help them in free agency. That's going to help them with the overall morale in that locker room, and it will turn into wins. As now Baker Mayfield has a young child, and you got Tristan Wirfs with the money. Nobody's worried. No, everybody's got that Apple money like Forrest Gump. They ain't got much to worry about anymore. Now they can go play and go have some success.
And it's important to note too, in their division, that one is always wide open, and the Bucs sounding like they are ready to compete. Ryan Harris, former offensive lineman, I should say, Ryan Harris, speaking on another offensive lineman getting his reps. Ryan, thanks for hopping on with us here on the Morning Buzz. One more look at Tristan Wirfs as he becomes one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the game. And when it comes to Tampa, he certainly has gotten it done. He joined the Bucs back in 2020 when they used the number 13 overall pick to take him out of Iowa. Of course, during his time there, he's helped them win a Super Bowl, as well as earning All-Pro honors, Pro Bowls. This guy is the real deal. And we are going to continue the conversation as we now go out to Tampa and bring in our training camp crew of Evan Washburn, Charles Davis, and Pete Prisco to discuss. Guys, obviously, this is the big news of the day. It is leading our show. Pete, I want to come to you first on this one. Your thoughts on Tristan Wirfs getting that 5-year extension?
Well, they had to do it. He's arguably one of the top 3 left tackles in the league, and I think he's made a great transition. That's the most important thing about him. Remember, he was a right tackle. He was probably the best right tackle in football, him and Lane Johnson, and made the transition last year and now protects the blind side of Baker Mayfield. Look, I think they had to do this, and it's the right money, but boy, those left tackles are starting to get paid, aren't they?
They certainly are, and what's interesting is that left tackle, I'm not going to say it's been de-emphasized, but now we're saying the right tackle has to be like the left tackle in the NFL. So if you're a good tackle, as you mentioned, Pete, like a Lane Johnson, as a Tristan Wirfs, you're going to get paid either way. But remember, he was a left tackle coming out of college, moved to the right side out of necessity, eager to go back to left tackle like as Orlando Brown did in Kansas City. Now he gets his money. Now the big thing is, will they get their running game ignited? Because Evan and Pete, you both have seen, they don't call very many running plays in Tampa.
Yeah, I think that's all part of the sauce here. Hopefully they're just handing out checks today because we picked the right day to come visit the Bucs. But I also think it's worth acknowledging, and I know we'll get into this as part of our conversation, but just what Jason Licht has done here over the last few years, because the Brady experiment was a success. You won the Super Bowl, but it required basically a departure from the conventional way of building an organization, building a team, and now he's built another pillar in what he's done here with Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit more, and Charles, I'll come to you on this question here because we just spoke with Ryan Harris, and one of the things he pointed out was it sounds like this is a Bucs organization that wants to win and win right now. So when you see the moves they've made with Baker Mayfield, keeping Mike Evans around, and now securing that left tackle position, how confident are you in this organization that they are trying to win in 2024?
Very confident, and I think I'm going to play off of what Evan talked about in terms of what Jason Licht has done with this organization. You remember when they won the Super Bowl, they ran it back with everyone, and he did a great job making sure everyone got a contract that was a key figure on that team to give them a chance to win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Since that time, what has he done, guys? He has shopped at home. Big-time players that he's had, he's made sure to secure those contracts similar to a Mike Evans and Tristan Wirfs now. If they are valuable to the Bucs, he wants to keep them here at home. They quietly are seething at the fact that they've won the last 2 division titles, and all any of us media people are talking about is Atlanta and what's going on in Atlanta. They don't want to hear it anymore. They're tired of it, but guess what? They're ready to rock and roll. And by the way, how do you like it when a general manager says, my left tackle should be the highest paid in the NFL? And then goes ahead and does it? I want to work for that GM.
Yeah, and I think the relationship that Jason Light has, not just with the players, but specific to this contract, Pete, was one where Tristan, we've now sort of developed this new term, hold in, and those can have different levels of contention. This one seemed to be as positive throughout the process, going back to OTAs, where it was just a matter of when, not if, and at no point did it feel like there was any tension or resentment built. And that's a credit, again, to Jason Light, but also the way that Wirfs kind of attacked what is a generationally changing moment for him and his family.
You know, you look at what Jason Light has done. Remember, he's been hamstrung by that Tom Brady contract. I mean, there's been some bonus money that's eaten up some of their cap, and that's been a problem for him. But he's still been able, like you mentioned, to keep all the guys he wanted to keep, most notably Baker Mayfield. And he's had a great draft. I'm telling you, the rookie class, and I was here in May for minicamp, this rookie class is going to be special. And everybody, like you mentioned, they keep talking about Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Wrong. This is the best team in the division right now, and I think people are going to realize that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, don't get fooled by the record. Doesn't matter they've gone 9-8, 9-8. Guess who won the division both years? Tampa Bay, and advanced to the playoffs. That's the bottom line. Get to the tournament, give yourself a chance.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Buzz. I know it's a busy day. You'll get to hear from Tristan in a little bit, so we appreciate your time checking in with us on the Morning Buzz. So the Bucs have their guys. They've got their quarterback, their wide receiver, and now they get their offensive lineman back in Tristan Wirfs, and they are going to need it when you take a look at the schedule here. Of course, I mentioned the division being wide open for the Bucs. They have won it very recently, but a lot of competition when you look at this schedule here with several primetime games, Thursday night football, Monday night football, all the things. So we are excited to see how the Bucs will come together now that they've got their offensive lineman as one of the highest paid in the NFL.